Hello, the faithful one. My name is Austin, and I am going to be reflecting on what I have experienced at church camp. Church camp, I've loved church camp every year. I've been for 5 years, loved every single year of it. But my very first year, and let me just give a little bit of background. All right, so for me, church camp has always been a place where walls have been broken down. What I mean by that is like obviously a metaphorical or a spiritual wall in my life that has been set up or blocking something, and then church camp has just torn right through it. A couple specific instances of this was the very first year. I didn't even want to go to church camp. Walled it up. I did not want to go to church camp. So when I ended up going to church camp, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get anything out of this. Another wall. And then last service of the last day, after the last service of the last day, Holy Spirit kind of tore through both those walls and it's like, hey, you haven't been saved your whole life. So I got saved at church camp. He tore right through that wall. Very awesome. Year 2, I didn't want to do the preaching competition. Boom, wall torn down. I did the preaching competition. I believe I got 3rd that year. And then, so with my 3rd year, I had been struggling with the call, not struggling, I'd been called to ministry earlier in that year, but I didn't accept it. I hadn't accepted it yet because I didn't want to. I wanted to work construction of all things. And when God called me to ministry, I was like, I don't know what that entails. I'm scared. I don't want to do that. Wall. And then church camp, one of the speakers, he was like, if you feel the call on your life, go to the back. Basically, he just said, everybody who feel called, go to the back. And then just so happened, one of the people sitting right next to me got up. And then when I heard their chair go back, I was like, oh, well, I better get up. And then right then and there, I surrendered to what God had for me. Last year, can't say that there was a wall that he tore down. I was pretty excited and ready to be everywhere or to see what he had to offer. But this year, on the way to camp in the car, leading up to it, I had heard of the speakers who were going to be there, and just kind of like the reputation. It's not the best, but so I set up a wall. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to get anything out of these guys, and I'm just not a fan of how they speak. I'm not a fan of how a man speaks, rather than a fan of how the Holy Spirit moves. But I let how a man speaks get in the way of how the Holy Spirit moves. And as I was in the car driving to camp, God kind of just like hit me with one of those, like, hey, pay attention to what's going to happen this week. And I was like, fine. So right then and there, he tore down the wall before I even got to camp. And it was probably one of my favorite years of camp this past year. It was my last year, but it was just it was a really wonderful time. Got to grow closer with all of my godly friends. Got to make new friends, meet a couple new people. It was just a very, very good time. And God uses church camp. I know it's kind of like a cliche thing, but God does use church camp. So, thank you, Marco.